Imagine this, a homeless girl, soaked to the bone, hands over her only blanket to a shivering German shepherd in the pouring rain. Then, fate steps in and rewards her in a way that'll leave you speechless. That's the story I'm telling you today, right here, right now, titled Homeless Girl Gave Blanket to Shivering German Shepherd, Fate Rewarded Her. I'm your host, and trust me, this isn't just some feel-good tale. It's raw, it's real, and it's packed with twists you won't see coming. Stick around for the next 25 minutes, because what happens next? It's unbelievable. Let's dive in. It's late December 2025, Seattle, Washington. Rain's hammering down, sheets of it, cold as ice, turning streets into rivers. Floodwaters from a storm last week have crept up, lapping at doorsteps, swallowing sidewalks. The wind's howling, cutting through the city like a knife. Picture those gray skies, the kind that make you want to stay inside with a hot coffee. But not everyone's got that luxury. Meet Lila, she's 22, a young woman with dark hair plastered to her face, eyes shadowed with grief. She's crouched under a highway overpass, the concrete dripping above her, her hands trembling around a small metal box. It's her mom's old medical kit, her last tie to a life she lost. Her thin jacket soaked, her sneakers squished with every move, and her only blanket, a faded blue square her mom stitched years ago, is wrapped tight around her shoulders. She's homeless, hungry, and alone. Now, let me paint you a picture of Lila's past, because this isn't just about tonight. 3 years back, she was a college kid, studying to be a vet at the University of Washington. She had big dreams, saving animals, making a difference. Her mom, Anna, was her rock, a nurse who worked 12-hour shifts at Seattle General to keep Lila in school. Anna was tough, but she'd come home with stories of patients she'd helped, her voice soft as she tucked Lila in. Then cancer hit. Stage 4, lung cancer, diagnosed in 2022. Anna fought hard, but by 2023, she was gone. Lila was 19, drowning in medical bills, over $200,000, according to the American Cancer Society's stats on uninsured patients that year. The apartment got foreclosed, school slipped away, and Lila hit the streets. That's where we find her now, under this overpass, rain pounding, a statistic in a country where, in 2025, over 700,000 people are homeless nightly, per the National Alliance to End Homelessness. You ever lose someone and feel like the world just stops? I have. My dad passed 5 years ago, heart attack, out of nowhere. I'd sit in his old truck, staring at the wheel, wondering how to move on. Lila's there too, stuck, grieving, her mom's blanket her only comfort. It's not much, maybe 3 feet by 4 feet, patched up, smelling faintly of hospital antiseptic, but it's her shield against the cold. And tonight, that cold's brutal. Seattle's hitting 35 degrees Fahrenheit, wind chill dropping it to 20. That's hypothermia territory if you're wet and exposed. Then, through the roar of the rain, she hears it, a whimper, faint but desperate. Lila squints into the dark, her breath puffing out in white clouds. There, near the edge of the overpass where the floodwater's rising, maybe 6 inches deep now, she spots him. A German shepherd, big, maybe 80 pounds, but skinny, ribs poking through his wet black and fur. He's shivering so hard his whole body shakes, one front leg bent at a weird angle, hurt bad. His ears twitch, but he doesn't move, just lies there, head resting on the wet concrete. Lila stares. She knows what this weather can do. Last winter, she saw a guy under this same overpass, blue lips, gone by morning. She's got nothing to give, her blanket's all she's got left. But then the dog lifts his head, and those eyes hit her, deep brown, scared, begging. It's like he's saying, please, don't leave me. Let me tell you something real quick. I've seen this kind of thing in life. 2 years ago, I was walking home, rainy night, just like this, and I found a dog, a little mutt, shivering under a dumpster. I didn't have much, but I gave him my scarf, took him in. He's still with me, calls me out when I'm slacking. That's what animals do, they see you, really see you. And right now, this German shepherd's seeing Lila. She takes a shaky breath, unwraps that blanket, lets the rain soak her jacket, her skin prickling with cold, and crawls over. "Hey, buddy," she says, voice cracking. "You look worse than me." He doesn't flinch, just watches as she drapes the blanket over him, tucks it around his sides, his hurt leg. The fabric's thin, but it's something. He lets out a low whine, almost a thank you. Lila's shivering now, teeth chattering, arms wrapped around herself. But she's not done. She opens her mom's kit. Inside, a few bandages, some antiseptic wipes, a roll of gauze. It's beat up, but it's hers. She wipes the mud off the dog's leg, sees a gash, maybe from barbed wire, and wraps it tight. "There you go," she says, her voice soft. "You're not alone, okay?" The dog shifts, presses his wet side against her. He's warm, despite the rain, and Lila feels tears sting her eyes. She hasn't felt this close to anything since her mom died. It's crazy, right? 1 minute, you're alone. The next, you've got a friend, 4 legs, fur, and all. Here's a question for you. What would you do? Give up your last bit of warmth for a dog you don't even know? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts, because this moment's big. Lila's choice? It's the spark that lights this whole story. And this German Shepherd, she names him Duke, he's got a past too. See, Duke wasn't always a stray. Back in 2023, he was a rescue dog, trained by a guy named Mike with Seattle's Urban Search and Rescue. Duke pulled people from flooded homes, sniffed out survivors after landslides, saved dozens of lives. But that summer, a flood took Mike, water too fast, too deep. Duke made it out, but the team couldn't keep him. Budget cuts, $1.2 million slashed from emergency services that year, per local news. They let him go. He's been on his own since, scared of water but still kicking. Now, under this overpass, Lila and Duke are a team. The rain's picking up, floodwaters at 8 inches now, creeping closer. They've got no food, no dry spot left. Lila's soaked, Duke's hurt, and the night's just getting started. Can they survive this? That's where we're at. And let me tell you, fate's watching. What's coming next is gonna shake you up. Stay with me, because this story's about to get wild. The rain's pounding harder now, hammering the overpass above Lila and Duke like it's trying to break through. It's still December 2025 in Seattle, and that floodwater's rising, up to 10 inches now, creeping closer to where they're huddled. Lila's soaked, her jacket clinging to her skin, her hands shaking as she pulls Duke tighter under the blanket. That German Shepherd's still shivering, his bandaged leg stiff, but he's pressing against her like he knows she's all he's got. They're a team now, 2 broken souls in a city that doesn't care. But surviving tonight? That's just the start. The real fight's coming, and it's gonna test them both. Morning breaks, gray, wet, miserable. Lila's stomach's growling, a hollow ache she's known too well since her mom died. She hasn't eaten in 2 days, not since she found that half-rotten apple in a dumpster near Pike Place Market. Duke's no better off, his ribs are sticking out, his eyes dull with hunger. "We gotta move, buddy," she says, her voice hoarse. She stands, legs wobbly from the cold, 35 degrees Fahrenheit, wind chill making it feel like 25. That's Seattle winter for you. She tucks the blanket around Duke, leaving herself exposed, and they stumble out into the rain. The plan? Find food, anything, before they both collapse. They head toward a strip of shuttered stores a mile away, about 5,280 feet through flooded streets. Water's up to Lila's ankles now, soaking her sneakers, numbing her toes. Duke limps beside her, flinching every time a wave splashes his legs. He hates water. Those floods 2 years back left a mark on him, and Lila can see it in his eyes. But he keeps going, loyal as hell. They reach an alley behind a grocery store, closed since the storm hit. There's a dumpster, lid half open, spilling trash into the muck. Lila digs in, finds a bruised banana, some stale bread. "Jackpot," she mutters, splitting it with Duke. He will sit down, tail wagging once, like he's saying thanks. But here's where it gets dicey. As Lila's wiping her hands, she hears footsteps, squelching, deliberate. 3 guys step out from the shadows, ragged clothes, hard eyes. The leader's maybe 20, wiry, with a scar across his cheek. "Well, look at this," he sneers. Little girl and her mutt got a snack. Lila freezes, heart pounding. She's seen types like this before, street kids turned mean, surviving by taking. "We don't want trouble," she says, stepping in front of Duke. He growls low, fur bristling. The guy laughs. "Hand it over, whatever you got, or the dog's done." Lila's got nothing left, just that blanket and her mom's kit, but she clutches them tight. Duke barks, sharp and loud, and the guys hesitate. Then they back off, cursing, disappearing into the rain. You ever face a moment where you've got nothing, but you still stand your ground? I've been there, once got cornered in a parking lot over a $20 bill. Didn't fight, just stared them down till they walked away. Lila's tougher than me, though. She's protecting Duke like he's family. And he is, now. That little win gives her a spark, maybe they can make it. She decides to try something risky, singing for cash. Back when her mom was alive, Lila loved music, used to hum vet clinic jingles while studying. She's got no guitar, but her voice? It's still there, raw and real. They head to a subway entrance, busy, sheltered, about half a mile away, 2,640 feet through the wet. She sits on the cold tiles, Duke beside her, and starts singing, an old folk tune her mom taught her, Down by the River, Where the Willows Weep. Her voice cuts through the rain's drone, soft, broken, beautiful. People rush by, coats, umbrellas, earbuds in, but a few slow down. A woman in a red scarf drops $1. A kid tosses 50 cents. Duke helps, wags his tail, nudges folks with his nose. By noon, they've got $5, enough for a hot dog from a street vendor who's braving the weather. Lila splits it with Duke, her first warm bite in days. "We're a team, huh?" she says, ruffling his wet fur. He huffs, like he agrees. But life's not that easy, right? That $5 isn't gonna last. And the rain's turning into a storm, winds at 40 miles per hour, flood warnings on every radio. Lila's heard over 50,000 Seattle homes lost power last week, per King 5 News. She knows they need shelter, fast. They trudge back toward the overpass, another mile, water now at 12 inches. Halfway there, Lila spots a group, 5 people, huddled under tarps. The leader, Tom, a guy about 30 with a scruffy beard, waves her over. "You alone?" he asks. Lila nods, wary. "Join us," he says. "We've got food, dry spots." She's tempted, with God, she's tired, but then Tom eyes Duke. No dogs, though. Too risky. Lila's gut twists. Leave Duke? After he stuck by her? "No thanks," she says, turning away. Tom shrugs. "Your funeral. What would you pick, safety or loyalty? Tell me in the comments, because Lila's choice? It's about to get tested. That storm's coming, and it's bringing trouble she can't outrun. Duke's her lifeline, but he's hurt, and she's barely holding on. This is just the start, things are gonna get wilder. Hang tight, because the next part's gonna hit you hard. The storm's rolling in hard now, Seattle's getting slammed. Lila and Duke are back under that highway overpass, but it's not the safe haven it was last night. The wind's howling at 45 miles per hour, ripping through the concrete gaps, and the floodwater's up to 14 inches, almost knee-high on Lila, lapping at Duke's belly. That blanket she gave him? It's soaked, clinging to his fur, useless against the cold. She's shivering worse than ever, her jacket's a wet rag, her hands numb at 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Duke's pressing close, his hurt leg trembling, but his eyes are sharp, watching her like he's ready to fight the rain itself. They've got each other, but this weather? It's a killer, and it's not letting up. Lila knows they can't stay. The news said it, flood warnings across King County, 60,000 homes dark since yesterday, per Seattle Times reports. She's seen what happens when you don't move. Last year, a guy she knew, Old Pete, stayed put during a storm like this. Found him frozen under a tarp, 20 feet from here. "We're not dying tonight," she tells Duke, her voice shaking but firm. She grabs her mom's medical kit, tucks it under her arm, and pulls him up. They've got to find higher ground, somewhere dry, somewhere safe. The closest spot's a parking garage, half a mile away, 2,640 feet through rising water. It's a long shot, but it's all they've got. They wade out, water sloshing around Lila's calves, frigid, muddy, tugging at her legs. Duke's limping bad, his bandaged leg dragging, and every splash makes him flinch. He's scared of water. Those floods that took his handler, Mike, left him scarred. Lila sees it, feels it. "Come on, buddy," she says, "you're tougher than this." He pushes on, staying tight to her side. Halfway there, maybe 1,300 feet in, the rain turns brutal. Winds hit 50 miles per hour, pelting them with icy drops. A branch snaps overhead, crashing down 10 feet away. Lila ducks, heart racing. Duke barks, sharp and loud, like he's warning the storm to back off. She almost laughs, crazy, right, but it's him keeping her going. Then trouble doubles down. They're nearing the garage when voices cut through the rain, gruff, angry. It's Tom's group again, 5 of them, tarps flapping, camped on a rise about 100 feet off. Tom spots her, waves her over. "Last chance, girl," he yells. "Water's coming, join us." Lila hesitates. She's exhausted, hasn't slept in 2 days, running on that hot dog from yesterday. Her legs feel like lead, her stomach's a knot. Tom's got a fire going, a can of beans heating up. She can smell it. God, it's tempting. But then he points at Duke. "Ditch the dog, though. We don't need dead weight." Lila's jaw tightens. Leave Duke? After he stuck with her through this mess? "No way," she snaps, turning back to the flood. Tom laughs, cold and mean. "You're nuts, gonna die for a mutt." She ignores him, keeps moving. But 200 feet from the garage, the ground dips, water jumps to 18 inches, then 20. It's a current now, pulling at her knees. Duke whines, paw slipping. Lila grabs his collar, hauls him up. "We're almost there," she gasps. They make it, stumble into the garage's first level, water only 6 inches here. It's dark, concrete echoing with drips, but it's dryish. Lila collapses against a pillar, Duke flopping beside her. She's panting, soaked, but they're alive. "Good boy," she whispers, ruffling his wet fur. He licks her hand, weak, but there. But it's not over. The garage groans, old, battered by years of rain. A crack splits the ceiling, 10 feet long, dust raining down. Lila freezes. She's heard stories. 2019, a garage in Tacoma collapsed in a storm, killed 2. This one's shaking. "We can't stay," she mutters. She spots a rooftop, open, exposed, but high, 30 feet up viaduct stairs. Water's rising, 14 inches below now. She half carries Duke, legs screaming, up those steps, 60 of them, wet, treacherous. They hit the roof, wind slams her, 65 miles per hour, rain blinding. She finds a corner, an overhang, sets Duke down. He's panting hard, eyes dull. She's got no food, no dry clothes, just that kit and her will. Real talk, storms like this? They're getting worse. FEMA says U.S. flood damage hit $20 billion in 2024. Climate change ain't messing around. Lila's caught in it, and Duke's fading. She sings again, down by the river, soft, to keep him calm. Her mom used to sing her through fevers, now it's Duke's turn. Ever lose hope but keep going anyway? Tell me below, I want to know what drives you. Because Lila's at her limit, and fate's about to throw one last curveball. This rooftop's their last stand, and it's crumbling. The rooftop's a battlefield, wind screaming at 70 miles per hour, rain slashing sideways, stinging Lila's face like needles. She's crouched under this flimsy overhang, barely 5 feet wide, clutching Duke against her chest. That German shepherd's fading, his breathing shallow, his hurt leg limp under the drenched blanket she gave him days ago. Seattle's drowning below, floodwaters at 30 inches downtown, per NOAA's last update, and this parking garage? It's trembling, cracks spiderwebbing the walls. Lila's soaked, her jacket's useless, her hands blue at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. She's singing to Duke, voice cracking, down by the river, trying to keep him here, keep herself sane. But she knows it, they're out of time. Then it happens, water surges below, a roar like a freight train. The first level's gone, floods at 20 inches up here, lapping the stairs they climbed. The roof shutters, a chunk of concrete, maybe 50 pounds, breaks off 10 feet away, splashing into the dark. Lila gasps, pulls Duke tighter. He whimpers, too weak to move. She's got nothing left, no food since that candy bar yesterday, no strength after dragging him up 60 steps. Her mom's medical kit's empty, gauze gone, antiseptic spent. Hold on, buddy, she whispers, tears mixing with rain. But the truth hits her, they might not make it. She thinks of Anna, her mom's last words, "You're my fighter." She's fought with God, she has, but this storm's winning. Suddenly, Duke's head snaps up, ears twitching, a low growl rumbling in his chest. Lila freezes. Through the rain, she hears it, splashing, rhythmic. A light cuts the dark, a flashlight, bobbing closer. A voice yells, "Anyone up there?" It's a man, older, maybe 55, in a yellow raincoat, rowing a small boat through the flooded street below. He's 30 feet down, but climbing, hauling himself up a fire escape, metal clanging. Lila's heart leaps. "Here," she shouts, voice raw. The man reaches the roof, gray hair, weathered face, eyes sharp. He kneels, shines the light on Duke. "Hell of a dog," he says. "Name's Henry. Let's get you out." Lila's wary, trusts hard on the streets, but Duke wags his tail, weak but sure. Henry scoops him up, 80 pounds of wet fur, and nods to Lila. "Grab on." They stumble down, wind battering them, water at 24 inches now. The boat's tied off, rocking hard. Henry lays Duke inside, helps Lila climb in. She's shaking, relief, fear, exhaustion. Henry rows, strong, steady, through streets turned rivers, 3 miles to a dry clinic on a hill. Lila holds Duke, whispering, "We're okay." But then Henry says something that stops her cold, "I know this dog." They hit the clinic, an old vet office, warm, lit by a generator. Henry sets Duke on a table, grabs supplies, for fluids, bandages. "He's mine," he says, voice thick. "Or was. Name's Duke, rescue dog, worked with me till that flood in 23 took my team." Lila stares. Henry's a retired vet, ran Seattle's urban search and rescue dogs for 20 years. "Duke saved 47 lives," he says, pulled kids from flooded cars, found survivors in mudslides. "But that day Mike died, Henry couldn't keep him, grief broke him too. Thought I'd lost him forever," he mutters, hooking Duke to fluids. Lila's mind spins. Fate? This is it, her giving that blanket, Duke sticking by her, landing them here. Duke stabilizing, breathing steadies, eyes brighter. Henry looks at Lila. "You saved him." "Why?" She chokes up. "He saved me first, kept me going." Henry nods, like he gets it. "Stay," he says. "Help me here, learn the trade. You've got the heart for it." Lila hesitates, years of running, losing, make her doubt. But Duke nudges her hand, warm and alive. She nods. Months pass, Lila trains with Henry, studies vet skills, heals. Duke's back in action, rescue missions, pulling people from floods. They're a team, her dream reborn. Now, here's the real kicker. That blanket Lila gave Duke? It's framed on the clinic wall, faded, patched, a symbol. I've seen stuff like this, small acts changing everything. My neighbor, Jen, fed a stray dog last year. Now it's her therapy pet, got her through depression. The ASPCA says 1.5 million shelter animals find homes yearly because of people like Lila, like Jen. Life's brutal. 2025's floods cost $25 billion per FEMA, but kindness cuts through. Lila went from homeless to a vet's apprentice, Duke from stray to hero again. That's fate rewarding her, right? What's your takeaway? For me, it's this: give when you've got nothing, might just save you too. Ever had a moment where helping someone turned your life around? Share it below. I'm reading every one. Lila and Duke proved it. In the darkest storms, a little warmth lights the way. That's their story. Hope it sticks with you like it does with me. Duke's back in action, rescue missions, pulling people from floods. They're a team, her dream reborn. Ever pushed through something that felt impossible? I remember hiking Mount Rainier once, 14,410 feet, rain hitting sideways. Thought I'd quit, but my buddy kept me going. Lila's got Duke for that. They're safe for now, but this garage? It's no paradise. Winds whistling through the open sides, trash scattered everywhere, old wrappers, a busted umbrella. Lila digs in her kit, finds a half-used tube of antibiotic cream. She rewraps Duke's leg, gash looks worse, red around the edges. Hang in there, she tells him. She's no vet yet, but her mom taught her enough: clean the wound, keep it dry. She's fighting for him, same way Anna fought for her. Let's talk real life for a sec. In 2024, the ASPCA said over 3.1 million dogs enter U.S. shelters yearly, half get adopted, half don't. Duke's one of the lucky ones, finding Lila. But luck's running thin. That storm outside? It's a monster. Floodwaters hit 24 inches downtown last night, per NOAA. Lila's gotta keep moving, but she's beat, physically, mentally. She thinks about her mom, Anna's voice saying, "You're stronger than you know." It's what gets her up. She decides to try singing again, maybe scrounge a few bucks from anyone hiding out here. She starts, "Down by the river," voice echoing off the walls. Duke perks up, ears twitching. A guy in a hoodie tosses her a quarter. It's something. Lila and Duke proved it. In the darkest storms, a little warmth lights the way. That's their story. Hope it sticks with you like it does with me.